Hi, my name is Tracy. Thank you so much for clicking on this video to learn more about my practice and how we operate. And I want to take some time and just really go through an initial consultation with you. This is going to be talking about what it is to have a doula, what my practice offers individually, the different practice structures that we have and packages, level of experience and expertise. Also, what does the booking process look like and what value do we bring to the table in working within my practice? First of all, congratulations on taking the step and deciding that you want a doula present for your birth. I think it's really important that you assemble your birth team because guess what? The hospital has their birth team or the birthing center has their birth team. So it's really important that you begin, no matter what stage of pregnancy that you're in, to establish your birth team. And the beautiful part about having a doula is that, or a doula practice is that the team comes with you throughout your prenatal period, throughout your birthing period, and then also, in your immediate postpartum. So I'm going to go over just like some key components and what specifically my practice offers. And also making sure that your partner sees this video. It's really important that you begin to include them at the onset. It's not just about moms. It really is about their partners too, because I always say there's no power like the partner. The partner brings one element that no doula, doctor, nurse, or midwife does, and that is that level of intimacy and connection that has got you guys to this part. So we want to honor and respect that space as well. So it's really good that as you're seeking information and choosing and putting together your right birth team, that you include them on the process because they're going to be the ones communicating. In the end, it's like when you're in labor, it's going to be a lot of communication that takes place with the partner. So it's good to include them at the onset. So let me talk a little bit about me and my level of experience. I started out in the field in the year 2000. So I always say I have about 20 years of experience, but over 20 plus years because I am a mom of 3 and my oldest child is 25. I started out with Doula. I trained with Doula, and I practiced as a doula for about 2 to 3 years. And about 2 to 3 years into my doula career, I transitioned into midwifery, and I studied apprentice and practice midwifery and was very, very fortunate to have my own practice along with another midwife in the Bay Area, and we were able to do some great work with moms. But, I just found that I didn't want my level of experience to stop there, and I also felt like I didn't want to take on that level of liability and responsibility. So I found that my expertise was really best utilized on this side of the equation, really offering that same continuity of care, the midwifery model, into bringing that style into the doula world. And what does that mean? It's understanding the physiology of birth and how a woman's body and the mechanics really operate, and then also offering her a holistic approach. So please understand, it's I am a doula by trade, but I'm also a midwife. So approaching your birth is really, my mind is going to be operating from a midwifery standpoint. After I took some time from being a midwife, I went and got a culinary degree. And I specifically got that degree because I wanted to be able to support moms nutritionally throughout their gestating period. And I have put together a nutritional program that really aids to support the body in having the most efficient labor possible, preparing the body for the marathon of delivering your baby and therefore the immediate postpartum. I always say we don't want to prepare for the wedding and not the marriage. So it's really important that you guys begin to start thinking about your 4th trimester and what that looks like. Stop getting so fixated on birth. And then when you bring your baby home, you're like, oh my God, what do we do now? We really want to get your mindset into thinking about that 4th trimester because that really makes or breaks your recovery period. And that's so important that you begin to assemble a postpartum plan and what that looks like for your family. So, we go over levels of what it means to have your iron supported, your protein supported, your immune system, your proper hydration levels, giving you key components to have a rapid birth. And a lot of times people come to me and they say, Tracy, I want a natural birth. And that's fine. That's totally great. It is our job to give you all of our expertise. And so therefore you can make the best informed decision for yourself. We are not here to make decisions for you. However, it's important that we do things in advance to help facilitate that from your body, that it pulls all the nutrients that it's going to need. So, and the best way to do that is via nutrition, and also making sure that your environment is stress-free, and you are creating a human being, and it takes a lot. Okay, so I want to go over into just my my level of experience. I have been very, very fortunate enough to work with all the major hospitals, but also birthing centers, and of course home births, being a midwife. And because of my years in the game, and I'm called an OG now in the field, and that's okay, that's fine. I've been very fortunate to support well over 1,500 births, and cumulatively my practice has supported well over 2,000. So we've done this a time or two, and you are getting a well-experienced team on your side. So the packages that we offer several different packages. One I call a boutique package, and this one is more of a virtual doula package. The way technology allows us to operate these days, sometimes families just want the information and the support along the way, and they don't necessarily want or need or feel that they need somebody in their birthing space, but they have somebody that they can call, throughout their pregnancy and as they're birthing, and then their immediate postpartum, to support them and give them the proper information. So this one is a minimum of 3 months at $250 a month, and this one is $750 for the birthing. For the boutique package or the virtual doula package. And it, you still get the nutrition component. You just get several FaceTime appointments with me, and how to really tailor what it is that you're seeking in relation to how your pregnancy is going. It's really important that we get out of the thought of a birth plan. That's one of the things that in my years of experience that I am just not a fan of. I'm not a fan of birth plans. We want to be able to change the terminology. It's about your birth preferences or your birth wishes, but the most important model that we're going to be operating under is healthy mom, healthy baby, and whatever we need to do to get there. And it's okay if you desire a natural birth. I mean, great. Let's prepare for that. But then sometimes when the body goes into labor, early labor can be anywhere from 0 to 4 or 5 days long, and that's still considered normal in our world. And moms naturally get tired and need relief and need support around that. And plans change all the time. I also believe that this is the reason why there's a lot of mama depression or mama blues in the immediate postpartum period, because she has gotten fixated on, this is how I'm going to birth my baby. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's more so about being fluid to the process, especially if your body has never done this before. If you are a first-time parent, it's really important that you are open to the process and the journey of birthing your baby, because the bottom line is healthy mom, healthy baby. And it doesn't matter if you go completely natural or if you have an epidural or even a C-section, because that is still considered a birth. Nothing is going to make you feel better until you have your baby in your arms, okay? The next package that is offered is the inner doula package. And this one, is the birth-only package. Now, the birth-only package is what it sounds. It's like we show up for your birth only. However, you still get to access the level of knowledge at your fingertips. You can always email with questions or concerns. If something comes up, we definitely anticipate that. And, we often kind of like to peek our head in and do what we call an introduction, because we don't want to necessarily meet you when you're birthing, but the level of support that you are going to receive, or the extent, of course, is going to be during your labor and delivery period. There are no prenatals that are offered with this one, and no postpartum, but you can always email or text with questions or concerns. And oftentimes, this works well for second timers, or if this is your third time around and you just want somebody there the day of, because you've done this before, you know what to anticipate, but you just really know that you want that support there. And that package is $1,300. Now, with this package, also, if you're birthing in like a Kaiser facility, Kaiser offers, or maybe another facility that offers all these wonderful classes. And this is also an option that first timers choose. They choose this option because they can kind of marry their classes with the birthing, with doula support, with the birth only option. So this is something that I always think is good for second timers. I designed it for second time parents, but sometimes the first timers take advantage of it because they're able to put together, take advantage of all the classes that are offered in their birthing environment, but they can have that doula support there the day of too. The next package that is offered is the Inner Doula package. Now this one is where we offer two group prenatals. We're very small, structured group prenatals, still clients within the practice, but this is where we really go into like what to expect. So I designed the first prenatal to answer all of those questions, like, if what your birth preferences or your birth plan would be, but preferences or wishes is the word that we're going to use. And we go over the different onsets of labor. We talk about the different stages of labor, the difference between early labor, active labor, and transition. We also go over the different hospital policies and procedures based upon what facility you're birthing at. We also go over the difference between a natural birth versus narcotics versus an epidural, pros and cons of all of those. We go over the immediate after birth procedures for you and baby. And we also talk about your nutrition and really breaking down the nutrition guide, making sure that you are kind of following the regimen that is given within our practice structure. This package is at, it's $17.50, but it just gives you like an all-inclusive. And another option that we offer is within this is you have the option of having a 2-week postpartum visit within 2 weeks after your delivery. And the reason why this one is optional is because we focus so much on what your postpartum is going to look like. On the prenatal side, we help you prepare for your 4th trimester and getting that in your mindset. So sometimes moms already have a postpartum doula lined up. Sometimes they have their family or friends, and they don't necessarily need us to come in and check on them. However, that option is there for you to exercise should you choose to. We don't make that decision for you, but that option is there. Okay. The next package that we offer is the Complete Doula package. Now, this one is very similar to the Inner Doula package. However, the difference with this one is both prenatals are done in the comfort of your home, and also you are offered a nutrition consult on the prenatal and the postnatal side of your care with us. And finally, instead of the 2-week postpartum, you have us at your access for 4 weeks after you deliver. So should you choose to access that and need additional support. And that package is $2,200. But it's all inclusive, and you really get the skilled team on your side that can cater to your needs and helping you really structure what it is that you guys are seeking for yourself. Now, the way that it works when you go into labor. Okay. So the way that it works is once your body begins to exhibit signs that there possibly is labor, and there's 3 signs that we're looking for, and these signs are covered in the first prenatal appointment. But once you begin to exhibit labor, we say you send us a text message, and then we begin to stay in communications based upon how your labor is progressing. Okay, so we don't join you in early labor simply because early labor can be anywhere from 0 to 4 or 5 days long, and that's still considered normal in this field. Unfortunately, we don't want a mom to ever go through a long early phase of labor. But if your body has never done this before, this is still within, what we consider normal. And early labor is anywhere where your contractions are 4 to 5 minutes or more apart. And it's very inconsistent, but we do offer tips and tools and techniques and phone calls and FaceTimes to be there for you, during this time. So making sure that you are coping well, making sure that you're getting the adequate amount of rest, and also making sure that you are not arriving to your birthing facility too soon, because we don't want you to be sent home. So it's really important that the communication is there at the onset, because we know what the birthing facilities are looking for in reference to when they're going to admit you. And this is where your doula support really begins to really show. And this is also where we begin to have more communication with the partners as well. This is why having your partner at the onset through this process is very, very important. I didn't go over the second prenatal. So let me backtrack just a minute. So the second prenatal, what we cover, and it's not as comprehensive as the first one, but in the second prenatal, we actually give the partner our absolute 2 favorite techniques that can carry mom through from the onset to the end of labor. And it's really important that they, know what to do and how to utilize them. And we also begin to give you, like, making sure that you are creating your postpartum plan. And this is the final check-in just to make sure everybody is on one accord before you go into labor. Okay, so when your body is in labor and we join you, we're there with you. We kind of quietly come in and just assess how your labor is, how you're tolerating your contractions and your contraction pattern. And then we begin to introduce techniques and positions to get you as comfortable as possible, but also to help facilitate that labor and move that labor along to make sure that that every position that we put you in, it encourages baby's descent into the pelvic region, and also so that head can stimulate that cervix directly in order for it to encourage dilation. Making sure that we're introducing the proper breathing techniques at the right time, because if we introduce the wrong ones at the wrong time, it's not going to be as advantageous as it would be. So making sure that you're getting plenty of oxygenated blood to the baby, because babies are being compressed when a contraction is happening. They are being squeezed, and then once your uterus relaxes, their heart rate comes back up. So it's really important that you're getting enough oxygenated blood to the baby during the course of a contraction, and then also that your resting period is restful for you. The beautiful thing about a contraction is that it's a wave. It comes, it peaks, and then it goes down. So, and then also we begin to make that, we join you when your body transitions into active labor. So what is active labor? Active labor is when your contractions are at least 3 minutes apart, lasting for at least a minute, for at least an hour. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to say, okay, we're going to meet you at the hospital, or we're going to meet you at home. We like to be flexible in that and what that means. So, sometimes moms are not in early labor anymore, but they're not quite on the active phase, and we just need to join them at home. And when we do that, we can best support her there in her environment. Maybe she needs to get in the tub one more time, or in the shower one more time, or maybe sit on the toilet of her home. And then we begin to move to the hospital or your birthing facility when you are in a really active pattern, because the hospital is no place of luxury. It is where you go to do a job and you go home. So the next thing is, like, once baby is born, we're with you until about an hour after delivery. And, once doctor or midwife does any necessary repairs, we sit you up, we clean you up, and we position you in a comfortable position so you can we can try to attempt to get the baby to latch for the very first time. Not all babies latch for the very first time, and that's okay. But we definitely want to get the process started so mom can really understand, like, what is it, like, how am I going to breastfeed? Is baby ready to breastfeed? What does this feel like? Am I doing it right? And sometimes babies come out and they're licking their lips and they're rooting and they're showing signs that they're ready to latch. So we definitely want to support baby and mom in these efforts. But if baby has no interest in latching right away, it's totally fine, because they've just had their own process. They've just been born. Their system is transitioning over and breathing for the very first time. So it's really important that we do skin to skin. This helps them calm down. This helps their system continue to release any fluids that needs to come out with them crying. It also just kind of soothes and they know mom. So, skin to skin. For mom, it also helps because it allows the oxytocin to continue to release in the body, and that uterus to continue to contract, to slow that immediate postpartum bleeding down to a normal, natural, steady pace, which is very, very important immediately after having your baby. And yeah, and so depending upon which package you choose, after we, leave the hospital, you will either not see us or see us within 2 weeks, or see us within 4 weeks. But you can always email if something comes up with any questions or concerns, or text, because it's very important that you know that you are supported, and it just doesn't end there. And should you choose to encapsulate your placenta, that is an additional service that's offered, and we do take the placenta with us us from the hospital after you deliver. And we do about a 48-hour turnaround for your placenta capsules. And finally, what does it look like to move forward and book the services? So once you decide, say, hey, Tracy, you know, we really want to work with you and your team, I send over the agreement and I say, hey, it's all electronics, and we do require payment in full up front, but sometimes if you need payment options, that is available as well. Another option that I do offer is I am able to take your FSA or your HSA account, which is your flexible spending account, or your health savings account. And as long as it is in a debit card, Visa or MasterCard form, I can invoice as well. But if you do pay out of pocket and you would like to seek some form of reimbursement from your insurance, I do provide a receipt for you for that, for your records to submit to your insurance for possible reimbursement. We're still dealing with insurance companies now, so they may not necessarily be open to it, but we want to try, absolutely. And once I receive your signed agreement back and your payment, then I say, hey, this is your space in our client calendar, and we begin to start your care immediately. And I send over your nutrition guide. I send over your prenatal course outline, so to discuss, so you guys know what is covered in both of your prenatal appointments in advance. And then I also send over your postpartum list of recommendations, because like I said, we want to get your mind thinking about that 4th trimester and what that looks like for you, and getting you planned and ready for when baby comes home. And that's it. That's it. This is my same spiel that I say at all initial consultations, letting you guys know like what it is to work with it within my practice structure. Usually the way that it works, like who's going to attend my birth, it's like who's available, because we book between 4 to 6 clients a month, but we try to keep it on the 4 side just so we can just even out the playing field and making sure that all moms receive an adequate amount of support and care. So whomever is available will join you for your birth, but you will absolutely be able to meet the birth team during the course of your prenatal appointments, or a meetup or a FaceTime, depending upon whatever it is that you choose. And how do you go about saying, hey, Tracy, we love you, or we would definitely like to move forward? You can send a message and say, you know, we really would love to work with you and your team. We always say the sooner you know, the better, because we have clients who book up sometimes 7 months in advance. Like as soon as they find out they're pregnant, sometimes they're 5 and 6 weeks along, they're like, we book for services. So we do book up pretty far in advance. So I always say the sooner you know, either way, just please let us know immediately, because that either takes a space away in our client calendar, or it leaves a space open for a couple such as yourself who are seeking the services. And usually if I don't hear anything back within a week, I just consider that you've moved on. But hopefully not. Hopefully you would love to have us on your side. And then from there, you become a part of our team and you are supported along the way. And let me make sure I'm covering everything. I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. And if you have any specific questions, you can always email me and I will respond. However, if you would like a specialized consultation with me, that is a separate fee. However, should you choose to move forward with the services, that fee is applied to your package. All right. Thank you so much. Once again, I am Tracy, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.